The sun was slowly going down in Sudan, painting the sky orange and gold. The air was warm and heavy, and little grains of red dust floated everywhere. Mina and Lina, two young Christian women, were walking home from the small market where they helped their mother sell vegetables. They carried empty baskets, and their feet were tired, but their hearts were light. The girls always walked home before dark. Their mother would say, "When the sun sleeps, danger wakes." But that day, the market was crowded, and they worked longer than usual. By the time they left, the sky was already turning purple. Still, they walked together, laughing softly and singing a small church song they liked. Their voices were gentle, like the flutter of little birds. The road they followed was quiet, with tall dry bushes on both sides. The wind blew softly, making the bushes shake as if they were whispering secrets. The girls did not know why the wind felt different that evening, heavier, almost worried. They walked a little faster. As they reached the long stretch of empty road, Mina suddenly stopped. "Do you feel that?" she whispered. Lina turned around. "Feel what?" Mina could not explain. It was like something invisible was watching them. Not a kind thing. Something dark. Before Lina could answer, they heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, coming from behind. Both girls froze. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Their hearts started to beat fast, like small drums inside their chests. Mina grabbed Lina's hand. They turned around. At the end of the road, half hidden in the rising dust, stood a group of men. 5 of them. Their clothes were rough, their faces hard, and their eyes cold. These were men known in that area, criminal men. Dangerous men. The girls had heard stories. Terrible stories. Lina squeezed Mina's hand. "We need to go," she whispered. But the men began walking faster. Their steps were strong and heavy, like they owned the road. Like they owned the night. The girls began to run. Their feet hit the sand, kicking dust everywhere. Their hearts were shaking, but the men were faster. The sound of their boots grew louder and louder. The girls reached a bend in the road. They turned sharply and saw an old abandoned storage hut. Its door was broken, its windows cracked. It looked like a place where danger lived. But there was nowhere else to go. They rushed inside. The hut was dark and empty. Only the moonlight came through the broken roof. Mina held Lina close. The men's voices were getting nearer. Where did they go? They ran this way. Find them. The girls trembled. They could hear the men at the door. They could hear their cruel laughter. The danger was seconds away. Then, the wind outside changed. It roared suddenly, loudly, like a giant waking up. The red dust rose high, spinning like a storm. The hut shook. The air glowed faintly, just for a moment. Mina's eyes widened. Lina gasped. Someone, had entered the night. And nothing would ever be the same. The wind outside grew louder, spinning the red dust into the air like a rising storm. Mina and Lina held each other tightly. Their hearts were beating so fast it felt like they were shaking from the inside. The small hut made soft cracking sounds as the wind pushed against it. The men outside shouted, "What is this? Why is the wind like this? Cover your eyes." Their voices no longer sounded strong. They sounded confused and afraid. Mina peeked through a small hole in the wall. The dust outside looked like it was glowing, not bright like fire, but soft like morning light. It was strange. It was beautiful. It felt alive. Lina whispered, "Mina, is that normal?" Mina shook her head slowly. "No, this is not normal." The men tried to step closer to the hut, but every time they did, the dust blew harder, pushing them back. One man covered his face with both hands. Another man fell to his knees. "What is happening?" he shouted. Lina felt a warmth on her skin. It was not like fire. It felt gentle, peaceful, like sunlight on a cold morning. She looked up and gasped. A soft light was coming into the hut from the broken roof, like a quiet river of gold flowing down from the sky. It did not make a sound. It did not hurt their eyes. It just shone. Mina grabbed Lina's hand. "Lina, someone is here." The air inside the hut became calm, peaceful, as if someone powerful and kind had walked in. Someone the darkness did not want to be near. The girls felt something they could not explain. Their fear began to melt away, like ice turning to water. Their hearts slowed down. Their breathing softened. Lina whispered, Do you feel that? Mina nodded. Yes, it feels like Jesus. Outside, the men tried again to move forward. One shouted, "Get them out. Now." But the moment he stepped toward the door, the dust rose in a tall whirl and pushed him back so hard he fell to the ground. He screamed and crawled away. The others stared, shocked and shaking. The girls heard one of the men say, "There is something in there. Something not human." Another man whispered, "We should leave. This is not normal. This is a sign." Inside the hut, the golden light grew brighter. It touched the walls, the floor, the girls' faces. Mina felt tears run down her cheeks, not tears of fear, but something deeper. Something warm and safe. Suddenly, the girls heard footsteps inside the hut. Soft, gentle. They looked toward the corner of the room. A tall figure was standing there. They could not see his face clearly because the light around him was too bright. But they saw his shape. They saw his outline, and they felt his presence like a strong hand lifting their hearts. The figure spoke, not with a loud voice, but with a quiet one that felt like it was speaking inside their hearts. "Do not be afraid. I am here." The girls fell to their knees. Their fear disappeared completely, replaced with peace so strong it felt like a blanket around them. Outside, the men ran. They did not walk. They did not shout. They ran like men running from something they knew they could not fight. Their footsteps faded into the distance. Inside the hut, the light stayed. Mina whispered, "Jesus, you came." And the figure stepped closer. The night had changed. The danger was still near, but something greater had arrived. Something the darkness could not touch. Something divine. Something miraculous. The golden light inside the small broken hut grew even brighter, but it did not hurt Mina's or Lina's eyes. Instead, it felt warm, soft, and full of peace, like being wrapped in a safe blanket. The two girls knelt on the dusty floor, still holding each other's hands. The tall figure stood in front of them, covered in a glow that made everything around him shine. They could not see his face clearly, but they felt his kindness. They felt his power, and something in their hearts whispered the name they already knew. Jesus. The figure took one step closer. The ground did not shake. Instead, it felt like the whole room breathed in gently, like the world itself was bowing. "Do not fear," the voice said again. The words were calm, quiet, but stronger than thunder. They didn't echo through the room. No, they echoed through the girls' hearts. It felt like every word washed away a layer of fear. Mina felt tears fall again. This time she didn't hide her face. "Lord, we were so scared." Lina whispered, "We thought no one would help us." The figure reached out his hand. His hand glowed like white fire, but gentle fire, warm and alive. As his hand came near them, the wind outside calmed down. The dust settled softly on the ground, like it had been commanded to stop. "You are not alone," the voice said. "I was with you even before you called." The girls felt something deep inside their chests, like a soft drumbeat of hope. Outside the hut, the world was quiet, but not empty. The men who had chased them had stopped far down the road. They were pacing and whispering, afraid to come closer. One of the men shouted, "There is something inside that hut. Something holy. I cannot go near it." Another shouted back, "I saw the light. It was not normal. That is not a human." Their voices trembled like dry leaves in the wind. Inside, Jesus lifted his hand slightly, and a warm wave of peace filled the air. "Stand," he said. The girls slowly stood up. They felt strong again, even though fear had taken their strength earlier. It was as if someone had poured courage into their hearts. Jesus looked toward the door of the hut. Even though they couldn't see his eyes, they could feel his focus, sharp and powerful. Outside, the men felt it too. One of the criminals fell to his knees. "Let's go. Let's run. I feel something watching us." The others began to step back. Inside the hut, Jesus spoke once more. "No evil shall touch you." The words felt like a shield, an invisible, strong shield made of light. It wrapped around the girls, and they felt completely safe, like nothing in the world could break through it. The figure then turned slightly. The golden light flowed out through the hut's door like water pouring into the night. It moved toward the men. The criminals screamed, "Don't let the light touch us. Run. Something is chasing us." But nothing chased them. No one moved. It was their fear of the holy presence that made them run. They fled into the night, stumbling, tripping, shouting, and disappearing into the darkness. But the light stayed. Mina took a small breath and said, "Lord, you saved us." Lina nodded, shaking with emotion. "Why did you come?" The voice inside the light answered. "Because you called my name in your hearts, even when your mouths could not speak." The girls looked at each other with wide eyes. They had been too scared to pray out loud. But Jesus had heard the prayer inside them. The wind outside slowly stopped. The world softened. The danger was gone. But the miracle was just beginning. The night outside the hut grew quiet. Quiet like a sleeping lake. Quiet like a breath slowly released. The red dust that had danced wildly in the air was now resting softly on the ground. The danger was gone. The criminals had run far, far away, frightened by a power they could not see or fight. But inside the hut, the golden light still filled the air, warm and gentle, like sunlight trapped in a small room. Mina and Lina stood in front of the glowing figure, their hearts beating with awe. They were not shaking anymore. They were not afraid. Instead, they felt something they had never felt so strongly before: deep, strong, unbreakable peace. The figure, bright and full of love, spoke again. "You are safe," he said. Lina felt her knees grow weak again, but this time from relief, not fear. She held her chest. "Lord, thank you, we thought we would not see another sunrise." The light around Jesus dimmed just enough for the girls to see the outline of his robe. They could not see his face clearly, but they could feel his smile, warm and kind, like a father comforting his children. Mina wiped her tears. "Lord, what do we do now? Our home is so far away, and the night is still dark." The glowing figure stepped closer. The air changed again. Soft, calm, almost sweet. A gentle wind swirled inside the hut, even though the door was closed. It felt like the wind knew him, and obeyed him. "You will walk," he said, "but you will not walk alone." He lifted his hand slowly, and something happened that made both girls gasp. A soft circle of light appeared around their feet, white, warm and shining. It spread gently across the dusty floor and wrapped around them like a ring. "What is that?" Lina whispered. "A shield," Jesus said. "Where you go, it will go. Whatever tries to harm you will not cross it." Mina stared in wonder. "It follows us." "Yes," the voice answered. "My presence goes before you, and behind you." The girls both felt a strong wave of safety. They no longer felt like two weak humans running from danger. They felt guarded, protected, seen. Then something even stranger happened. The broken wooden door, hanging crookedly on one rusted hinge, began to straighten by itself. The hinge glowed. The pieces of wood came together like puzzle pieces fixing themselves. Within seconds, the door stood whole again. Lina covered her mouth with both hands. It fixed itself. Jesus turned his face toward her, though they still could not see his eyes, and said gently, "Where my presence enters, broken things become whole." The girls felt those words settle into their hearts like seeds planted in soft soil. Outside, far in the distance, they heard faint voices, the frightened voices of the criminals arguing with one another. "You said it was just two girls. No human can make that kind of light. It chased us. It chased us. I'm never going near that road again." Their voices faded into the wind. The girls looked back to Jesus. "Lord," Mina whispered, "why did you help us? We are just two girls, nobody special." The golden figure shook his head slowly. "You are precious," he said. "Every one of my children is precious." Lina felt her heart melt. She wiped her eyes again. "Lord, will you stay with us?" Jesus gently lifted his hand. The roof above them glowed, and a soft beam of moonlight poured down. The wind calmed even more. "I am with you always," he said, "even when you cannot see me." Then the golden light grew bright for a moment, so bright that the girls had to close their eyes. And when they opened them, he was gone. The hut was still warm. The air still smelled like peace, like clean morning wind. The ring of white light around their feet was still there, glowing. But the figure was no longer visible. Mina swallowed. "Lina, did we imagine it?" Lina touched her own chest. "No. I feel him. I still feel him." A soft breeze pushed the door open. Something in the wind seemed to whisper, "Go." The girls held each other's hands and stepped outside. The night was dark, but they were glowing. The shield of light walked with them. The road was empty. The danger was gone. And far above them, the stars seemed brighter than they had ever been. The miracle wasn't over, it was walking with them. The night air outside the hut felt different, lighter, safer, almost like it was smiling. Mina and Lina stood on the dusty road, the warm glow around their feet shining like a soft lamp guiding their steps. The world around them was still dark, but the darkness no longer frightened them. They walked slowly at first, listening to every sound. The bushes whispered gently, the wind hummed softly. It was as if nature itself knew someone holy had passed through the land only moments ago. Lina squeezed Mina's hand. "I still feel him," she said softly. "It's like he's walking right behind us." Mina nodded. "I feel him too, like a warm light inside my chest." They walked a little faster now, growing braver with every step. Far away, behind the hills, a group of frightened criminals were still running, tripping over rocks, shouting at the darkness. They didn't know where they were going. They only knew one thing. They were running from a power greater than anything they had ever seen. But the girls didn't look back. They didn't need to. Jesus had already taken care of what was behind them. As they walked, something strange and beautiful began to happen. The light around their feet spread forward, like a glowing path laid out just for them. Wherever they stepped, the ground lit up. Not too bright, just enough to show the way. Lina gasped softly. "Mina, look, the light is going ahead of us." Mina exhaled. "He said his presence goes before us, and behind us." They felt safe. A few minutes later, they heard a sound, a faint crying. A small voice. It was coming from the side of the road. The girls hesitated for a moment, then stepped closer, the light moving with them. Behind a large bush, they found a tiny boy, maybe 5 years old, shaking with fear. His clothes were dirty, and his face was streaked with tears. Lina knelt beside him. "Are you lost?" she asked softly. The boy nodded, too scared to speak. Mina looked around. "Where is your family?" The boy shook his head. The night suddenly felt heavy again, not dangerous, but sad. The girls looked at each other. They knew children went missing sometimes in Sudan. Life was hard. Roads were long. Villages were far apart. Lina placed her hand gently on the boy's head. "It's okay," she said. "You're safe now." At that moment, the glow around their feet brightened, like the shield of light was wrapping around all three of them now. The boy blinked. "What is that light?" Mina smiled softly. "It's a miracle." The boy slowly stood up. The glow extended to him too, covering him like a warm blanket. Lina took his hand. "Come with us. We'll take you home." They continued walking, now 3 instead of 2. The path shined ahead of them, calm and steady. The boy whispered, "I was so scared before, but not now." Mina smiled gently. "When Jesus is near, fear must go away." After a long walk, they saw their village in the distance. Small mud houses, a few cooking fires still glowing. The place they called home. But something was wrong. Voices, loud ones, people shouting, women crying. The girls froze. "Why are they crying?" Lina whispered, fear returning. Mina swallowed. Maybe they think we are gone." They ran now, faster than before. The light ran with them. When they reached the entrance of the village, they saw a large group gathered in a circle. Their mother was in the middle, on her knees, crying into her hands. "My daughters," she sobbed. "God, please bring them back." "Mother," the girls cried. Their mother looked up, her eyes wide, wet, stunned. "Mina, Lina, is it truly you?" They rushed into her arms. She held them so tightly she almost lifted them off the ground. "My children," she whispered again and again. "I thought I lost you forever." People from the village pressed forward, shocked, amazed. "Where were you? What happened? How did you escape those men?" "We saw them. They were hunting the road." Before the girls could speak, something happened. The glow around their feet spread outward, and the entire crowd saw it. Gasps filled the air. "What is that light? Is it fire?" "No, it's too soft. It's glowing around them." The village elder stepped back, trembling. This is holy light." Mina lifted her head. Her voice shook, but not from fear, from awe. Jesus saved us. A silence fell over the crowd. Then a sound, soft at first, then stronger. Someone crying, someone praising, someone falling to their knees. The girls told the story, every detail, every moment, every miracle. As they spoke, the wind blew gently, as if heaven itself was listening. The elder said in a trembling voice, "This village has seen many hard days, but never a miracle like this." The little lost boy stepped forward. The light was still around him too. "My family," he whispered. "They live near the old well." Villagers helped him. Tears filled his mother's eyes when she saw him. She hugged him tightly, thanking God again and again. Mina and Lina watched quietly. Their mother held them close. The elder spoke softly, "Tonight, Jesus walked in Sudan." And everyone knew it was true. The danger was gone. The criminals had fled. A child was found. A village was shaken with wonder. And two girls, once afraid, stood strong and safe, wrapped in the miracle of God's love. Summary. In Sudan, two Christian girls, Mina and Lina, were walking home at night when a group of dangerous criminals began to chase them. They hid in an old hut, terrified and with no way to escape. Just when the men were closing in, a powerful golden light filled the hut, and Jesus appeared. His presence created a shield of protection around the girls, driving the criminals away in fear. The light followed the girls as they walked home, guiding them safely and even helping them rescue a lost child along the way. When they reached their village, everyone was shocked and amazed by the miracle. The whole village saw the glow around the girls and praised God. That night, everyone understood that Jesus had walked in Sudan and saved his children. Sparkles moral lesson. Sparkles. Jesus hears every silent prayer, even the ones we are too afraid to speak out loud. God's protection is stronger than any danger, no matter how dark or impossible the situation looks. Miracles still happen, especially when faith is present, even quietly, even in fear. God can use one miracle to help many people, not just the ones in danger, like how the lost child was found. Light always wins over darkness, and no evil can stand against God's presence. The end.